Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me, as always, is
Rob Morphy.
Uncle Bobby, what's up? And of course,
I am Chris.
Christopher, what is happening, my dudes? Hey, man, this is kind of a fun episode because it's episode 333.
Oh, halfway there.
Halfway to the 666
no.
mark, boys.
Didn't even know.
No. I would happen to be doing the title and numbering our episodes here, and I'm like, oh, damn, look where we're at.
Oh, my. Is that why you were doing the early mental health assessments? It was really fun.
Yeah.
In the pregame, you're like you're checking where everyone's at. You know, I'm trying to be sincere, and then I get belittled. No big deal.
Yeah.
Chris is like sort of half dead, but not. He's with us.
Yeah.
So he's like quasi dead.
Oh, no, he's 3/4 live.
And then I was just checking in to make sure that everything with you was okay.
I'm fucking rocking out with the proverbial rooster out.
Yeah, okay, man. Perfect.
Yeah, trying to keep it clean for the kids.
Nice. And what is that bottle of garbage that you're drinking over there?
Oh, we're still drinking
Proper 12?
the Proper 12 Irish whiskey. Chris and I are both balls deep into this.
Yes, you are.
And it's delicious this week. It's had time to air.
You guys wouldn't look at each other when you said it's delicious.
My palate's had time to adjust.
Yes, which it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's definitely better than it was last week.
You know, breathing helped it.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
There it is.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Well, this week we are talking... this week, it just dawned on me, we're diving into a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
This is a part one of a two-parter. Well,
yeah.
Maybe you think it's going to be longer than a two-parter?
You know what? I mean, I always eat these words, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mean it.
Uh-oh.
Two-parter.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Well, this week we're talking about The Invisible Boy, the Peter Pan Possession, as previously mentioned, part one.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Matt Drew, one of our old school friends and fans since like day one. Like he's been a supporter of this.
He's been a listener and a supporter of ours for almost, I'm pretty sure, since the beginning.
Great dude.
Awesome
Great
dude.
and beautifully bearded man to boot.
Yes. Beautiful beard.
So he brought this case to my attention when he sent us a copy of the book. It was Brad Steger's, I think. Oh, I might be getting it wrong, but it's mentioned in the piece below, the horrible thing that lives in the attic. It'll definitely be leveled out there. We did it when we did that, like the Hag of Detroit.
Oh, yes.
Episode, whatever else.
Yep.
So what I loved about this is that he was not only just sending this book, which had all these great stories in it, but he was sending this story in particular, and how he let me know about it is he put this adorable little TARDIS Post-it note bookmark on the page where the account begins, because it's in the midst of a deeper chapter. Then he put a little arrow in the margins.
Oh, nice.
So I obviously I've saved the book. I save every book anyone ever sends us, and it's a cherished part of the library. And of course I've saved it with the TARDIS Post-it note. So I just wanted to say thank you, Matt. Your friendship has been valued all this time, and anyone else who sends us stuff, including you. It's always cherished, and here's where it comes to fruition. This is something I've been wanting to do for the longest fucking time, and now, bang tango, here we are.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt. And without further ado, let's get started with, in the early 1950s, a Filipino teen met an ethereal blonde beauty who literally swept him off his feet and sent him spiraling down a rabbit hole of invisibility, anti-gravity, and ultimately, possession. Did this unsuspecting kid encounter an alien, a time traveler, or errant fae? Or was he, as some insist, being manipulated by a demon from the depths of hell? Let's dig in and find out.
Let's do that.
All right. Well, there's a lot here. Anti-gravity,
Superpowers.
Hell, yeah.
No, invisibility.
Like, come on.
It's Stan Lee could have written this comic in 1963.
100%.
Anti-gravity. Possession he might have avoided. That might not have been his jam necessarily. Yeah. But it's fucking awesome. It's crazy. This is crazy. But you know what? Let the story speak for itself.
No, let's do it.
The setup to the story sounds like the plot to any number of youth-oriented romances cut from the classic Romeo and Juliet mold. But this was not the tale of a whirlwind love affair between what 20th century society deemed to be a culturally incompatible pair. Instead, it's a tale of obsession, confusion, and change, of finding one's place in a mixed-up world and figuring out how to use your metaphoric wings to soar above the fray. In short, the account of The Invisible Boy is the story about growing up. But it's not your average coming-of-age saga, as this case comes with a decidedly supernatural twist, one which, for over a year, left an unsuspecting teen and his terrified family swimming in a sea of high strangeness. And, though his wings may have been metaphorical, by all accounts, this boy really did fly.
Oh, it's
Oh, shit.
Stand By Me.
It's the boy who can
But
fly.
with wings, and the boy
It's
that can
literally
fly.
the boy who can fly, except absolutely nothing like that fucking weird-ass movie.
Okay, cool.
And it's nothing like Powder, so fucking put the stop
That's
in
funny,
that right
I know
now.
exactly-
I know, because
man.
they came out like the same week, and we always think, I think Chris and I are cut from the same cloth. We always think of those movies as part and parcel.
Yeah.
It's not about fucking Powder.
All right, good.
That's
So
too bad.
stow it.
No, we can't get into Powder at the moment. Is there a Ray Broward? Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Dead by the tracks.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out.
Just his tennis shoes.
References to this curious case come to us from two primary sources. The first being Pentecostal pastor, evangelist, missionary, and prolific author Lester F. Sumrall's 1979 book, Miracles Don't Just Happen, which he co-authored with pastor J. Stephen Kahn. Sumrall, along with his family, spent a number of years in the Philippines during the 1950s, during which he was involved in at least two high-profile occult cases. The possession of a young prostitute named Clarita Villanueva, whom he claimed to have delivered from no less than two toothy demonic entities in 1953, and the case we'll be detailing in this episode, which Sumrall was also convinced involved a diabolical possession, though in this instance the situation might not be quite that straightforward. Our second source is the even more prolific author and legendary paranormal investigator Brad Steger. We know and love his work here, and it's just mentioned in the intro.
Yeah.
That's my first exposure to this case, who wrote about the events in question in his 1995 tome, The Awful Thing in the Attic. It's telling that Steger included the account in a chapter dedicated to interdimensional travelers titled Men and Women Who Walk Through Doorways. Besides the intrinsic value to future investigators and citing sources, I mention the two authors above to indicate how vastly divergent the same set of facts can be represented when tackled by two different researchers with contrasting backgrounds and agendas. As mentioned before, Steger, a renowned parapsychologist, chose to place the incident in the context of beings who have seemingly mastered the art of interdimensional travel and space-time manipulation, whereas Sumrall, a devout Christian who focused on satanic manifestations, put the account, which he was personally involved in, squarely in the context of demonic possession and salvation. Neither approach is intrinsically right or wrong, but this helps to illustrate the fact that, depending on one's perspective, the same story can be expressed in two extremely disparate fashions. In this case, it seems to be cautious wonder versus evangelical eminence. This is just one of the issues we'll be wrestling with in this presentation. The other will be the context of the actual eyewitness accounts, much of which was extracted from sworn affidavits made out by off-duty policemen who Sumrall hired to interview the participants in this case before becoming involved himself, but we'll get to that in due time. Sumrall had good reason to want to verify the circumstances involving these incidents, as his production company, LESEA, Lester Sumrall Evangelistic Association. I don't know what the second E is about. We'll just let that ride.
They had a corporation?
They did.
Yeah.
They
It's
have
an
an
association.
LLC.
Lessee. That's what it's that.
In partnership with World Harvest. Don't even want to get into that Soylent
Oh,
Green
no,
bullshit.
dude.
We're planning on producing a series of short religious films dealing with their battles with Satan in the Philippines and beyond, and hope to feature the trials and tribulations of this young boy as a case in point. As Sumrall wrote in his 1983 book, Alien Entities, Beings from Beyond, and it is a classic of its type, I assure you, the story of the invisible boy is true. It is a story which ultimately intimately related. It is about a young Filipino boy who was tormented by an alien entity for more than a year. This spirit would cause him to disappear from a classroom at school or from his home. I hired people to check out the validity of this story, including policemen who took signed affidavits about it. We investigated the whole matter very carefully. We didn't want the slightest possibility of falsehood or misrepresentation in it because we made a film of it. Is that film available? Put a pin in it. It's surely one of the most well-documented cases in our files, end quote.
I'm going to guess no if you said put a pin in it.
Dude, when you first
it was
mentioned
never made.
World Harvest, my mind automatically went to Golden Harvest. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, they're making Kung Fu movies.
Could you imagine?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. If only Golden Harvest had like been associated with like, you know, if footmen tell you what will horses do, or all like, those old like Godsploitation movies of the 60s and 70s in America. But let's, again.
I just want to see what this dude made for films.
Even though the college libraries, including our local Syracuse University, go orange.
Oh, shit. 315 for life?
Offering to lend this VHS aren't sure of the specific production year, we do know that a short film covering this case was made in the 1960s. And through the miracle of YouTube, it is available for all to see, unlike naysayer Mark.
Oh, I didn't.
And his prognostication that it was a no-go.
No, this is rare, though.
Oh, very rare.
This is a rarity,
I'm shocked.
The scratched and grainy 16mm print opens with a display of red and black plastic streamers blowing upward in what is clearly supposed to be a bargain basement rendition of Hellfire, intercut with shots of a sweating, sleeping young boy clearly caught in the throes of a nightmare.
This is what you don't want to watch this.
The child wakes with a start and stares off screen in horror at an apparition that is clearly too terrifying to show. While all this is going on, the narrator sets the scene. Quote, "This is the story of the invisible boy, a horrible but true story that took place within our time, within the realm of our immediate existence. This is a story that defies belief, the story of Cornelio Closa Jr., the invisible boy. More like a tale that might have happened during the Dark Ages, the retelling becomes even more startling and mysterious when it is considered that the story of the invisible boy occurred in the city of Manila, capital of the Republic of the Philippines, and that every single incident transpired in the very midst of that modern metropolis among very enlightened people. In this day and age, all of the facts and circumstances have been gathered, assessed, and documented. All pertinent witnesses have been summoned to authenticate the strange behavior by the invisible boy. Their testimonies have been sworn to, their depositions made of record. Legally, all of the events have been checked and affidavits sworn to. Most of the accounts are direct testimonies of those closest to him, those dearest to him." End quote. Hyperbolic, perhaps.
That is a quote.
I mean...
Mind-blowing?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Doth protest too much?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Like, this is the truth of all truth. This is the truthiest of the truth. You thought you knew truth? I am truth. You are not truth.
So all I'm hearing from Mark is you're afraid to bask in the glory of truth.
I mean, this quote's fucking
Because it's so much truth, it scares you.
Yes.
What if he was talking about flat Earth? Would you then be so scared? A false moon? Would you run the other way then, sir?
No. Well, I mean, then you're speaking my truth.
You'd run towards it.
Yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why don't you just hold your fucking skeptic hat a little bit?
I do like how over the top this quote
I
is.
did too. That's why I had to include
It's
it.
insane.
It's so dumb.
It's madness.
You're right. It is madness. Although, honestly, that's kind of lends a little bit of veracity. I don't want to go that way now. I'm kind of getting sold the other way now.
Oh.
And this guy is sold, man. He's got Blue Harvest to deal with. Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
But if you're
World
making a
Harvest,
film,
thank you.
I mean, you got to do stuff like that.
I mean,
right?
you know, but this is where the truth becomes art.
All right.
And art becomes truth.
Let's just table everything.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
With
Table
that,
everything.
with that officious statement came what was, for many, their first exposure to the strange saga of Cornelio Closa Jr., a.k.a. the Invisible Boy. One that began in the densely populated capital city of Manila on the Philippine island of Luzon in 1952. Cornelio, a thin, short, but otherwise ordinary 13-year-old sixth grader from Zamora Elementary School, would experience a series of what were, at least initially, fun, albeit bizarre adventures with an angelic young blonde-haired beauty. It wouldn't be long, however, before these escapades began to take their toll, not only on the psyche and physical well-being of the teenager, but on that of his family and friends as well. Though the exact date is unknown, the hapless boy's surreal odyssey began sometime in September of 1952, as Cornelio and his best friend Rudolfo Carmine were cutting across an overgrown field on their way home after a long day at school. The pair were laughing and chatting about nothing in particular, as boys freshly liberated from the reins of institutionalized education are wont to do, when, without warning, Cornelio froze in his tracks. Rudolfo glanced back to see what was up, and that's when he noticed that his buddy's eyes were quote-unquote almost bulging out of their sockets. "Do you see her?" Cornelio pointed. Rudolfo followed his friend's gaze across the empty expanse of grass to see what had grabbed his attention, but the only thing there was a nondescript brick wall. Cornelio continued, "See the girl in a long white dress? She's beautiful. She is calling to me."
Boy, okay. All right, well.
Yeah.
Looking...
He's a young man.
Yeah.
Maybe in the throes of something.
I mean, okay.
I don't want, I see the prejudged stares. Fucking nix that shit right now.
Could this be
Both
love? Could this be love?
We can't rule it out.
Feeling. Yeah.
Why can't this be love?
Is this the love?
I'm searching.
They're not bad.
Who was
5150.
that? Was it?
It was on 50.
It was.
5150.
Did I just Van Hagar out?
5150 is an excellent record.
I know, but
I'm not going to debate that.
Okay. All right.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
Diamond Dave. Okay. We can't talk about it right now. We have to get back to Rodolfo
We're in the field.
falling in love.
Guess what's happening? Cornelio, a name that makes me want to laugh every time I say it. I shouldn't.
Cornelio.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's Beavis and Butthead. And Rudolfo in a field. Cornelio sees something.
He's falling
It's
in
her.
love. Yeah.
She's at a distance.
And he's taken by her.
The puzzled Rudolfo saw nothing, but listened as his friend described the apparent phantasm. Cornelio claimed that she was a stunningly beautiful, pale-skinned girl about his age and height, clad in a flowing white dress with beautiful blonde tresses cascading over her shoulders all the way down to her waist. All of this would have been acceptable, save for the fact that she was only visible to one of the parties on hand.
Yeah.
But it's what Cornelio said next that threw Rudolfo for a loop. The mesmerized youngster added, almost as an afterthought, that the beckoning blonde's bare feet were sloped downward, gently floating above the grass.
Oh, dude, she floats.
She floats.
Oh, that's kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
Super cool chick.
Yeah, aren't they all?
She's invisible and she floats. Fucking dope, dude.
Wow, now you're on board.
I mean, you know, you're getting me there. You're getting me there. It wasn't. I didn't believe this until she was floating.
Now, yes,
Yeah,
clearly.
Exactly.
Rudolfo watched his friend walk across the field towards his invisible quarry. When Cornelio was just a few feet away from the wall, he cautiously reached forward and suddenly vanished without a trace. In his 2019 book, Lying Wonders, Strangest Things, The Most Amazing Phenomena in the World, Michael Brown quoted Rudolfo as saying, quote, I looked several times. As he approached the wall, I saw him put out his hand, and as he did, I swear I saw Cornelio disappear from sight.
Okay, well.
All right, okay, I mean, again, love finds a way.
To vanish.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Through a wall.
Yeah. Yes, Christopher, through a wall.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We've all been there in our youth.
We have been.
And
I think we're going to find a lot to identify with before this is over.
Okay.
But that's
sure.
just a side thing.
All right, man.
Rudolfo was stunned. 1 second, his best friend was there. The next, he was gone. Not knowing what else to do, the terrified teen turned tail and ran from the field, and not wanting to be thought of as mad, he kept the incident to himself.
Your boy disappeared and you booked?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how long is he going to stand there alone?
Until your boy comes back. You can't just leave him.
It would have been a long time. As it turns out.
Okay. Never mind. Fuck your friend. Leave him.
But let's do the little thing that movies often do. Let's switch perspectives.
Okay, cool.
For his part, Cornelio would recall the moments leading up to his apparent disappearance this way. From the moment he saw her, the boy was instantly enthralled with this almost inhumanly gorgeous apparition. So much so that he never thought to even question her ability to defy gravity. Then, without realizing it, he left Rudolfo behind, making his way ever closer to the floating feminine figure. When Cornelio got within a few feet of her, she smiled and said, please go for a walk with me?
You got to, man.
It was then that he realized that even though her voice was as clear as a bell, her lips never moved.
Oh, dude, she talks with her mind, dude.
She was speaking to him telepathically.
Oh, fuck yeah,
It's
dude.
always telepathically.
Yeah.
I mean, the true love is always a telepathic love. Summerall later wrote, quote, Cornelio naturally consented. Then, when the beautiful girl touched him, to his amazement, both of them became invisible.
Okay.
End quote. So, as soon as they touch, they're invisible. At this point, Rodolfo's booking, but
He's gone.
Cornelio's in a different place.
Okay.
The moment he realized they'd blinked out of sight, Cornelio's head began to swim and his body felt physically lighter. Cornelio recalled bristling with energy when she'd taken his hand in the field, but within seconds, his awareness of his surroundings had dissipated. It was as if he'd blacked out and had no recollection of what happened until she returned him home later that evening and embraced him outside of his house. The second bout of physical contact not only returned Cornelio to his fully visible corporeal form, but evidently also brought him back to his senses. No longer in a transient state, the teen suddenly felt drained, famished, and exhausted. Stumbling inside, Cornelio gorged himself on leftovers and passed out.
I mean, not a bad date.
I mean, well, I mean,
not a bad day.
A little out of the box, but it's
I mean,
not bad.
It's not like your typical.
so
you
as
know.
far as first dates go, and
Pretty good.
we're assuming this is his first date. He's 13.
Yeah.
You don't want to like hold hands with somebody, black out, wake up when she brings you home to be like suddenly real, famished, and exhausted, go eat all the leftovers and pass out. Like, unless you have some memory of what, transpired in between, that is a smidge bit
I
problematic.
mean, you got a hug and you ate.
I mean, you're
There you
right.
go.
In terms of first dates, it could be a lot worse.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, he was clearly thralled, so he was not
Sure.
like not enjoying it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he's smitten. So,
Right.
I mean, spoiler alert.
Especially
yeah.
when you're 13, man. You meet that one chick that just sets your fucking world on fire, and then she dumps you for math class, not Matt Drew, different Matt.
Different Matt.
Yeah, and then
One that
just-
you're not personally knowing of at all.
I mean, yeah.
You're not digging deep into the archives
Yeah.
of Mark right now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
Fuck Matt in math class, dude.
You,
Fuck that dude.
you disappeared and reappeared at a dumpster.
He actually was. Wow. He actually wasn't. Him and I were friends. Actually, he wasn't a bad dude. But you just meet that, especially at 13, man. It's crazy when you meet a chick. Your whole world changes.
Oh, yeah. The first time you realize that women aren't just like your sister's friends and
Yeah.
that it's something extraordinary.
You hold hands or something on the way walking to East Middle. The next thing you know, you're like, I'm in love. Writing bad poetry.
Oh, yeah.
When she left you from math class.
It happens every time.
Yeah. Then the world's over.
Exactly. That's the worst part is
Fair,
when
yeah.
the world ends and you're like, nothing will ever matter again.
Right. Then you enter that phase.
Yes, but honestly, man, I mean, I have kids now, and I remember being that age, and when that happens, it literally feels like the end, even
Yeah, it
though it's
sucks.
not. I mean, it feels like the end. So
Oh, absolutely. So
he's enthralled, man. He's
I'm
got it.
gonna go on a limb and say we are going to be able to identify with a lot of what Cornelio is about to go through.
Yes.
A lot.
Okay.
This poor bastard.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Strap in, kids.
Unsure what to make of the hallucinogenic episode, Cornelio chose not to share the experience with his parents or siblings, of which there are a lot, though it's never specifically mentioned how many. So he's of a big family.
Okay.
He still had no idea who his mysterious metaphysical mistress was or where she had come from. In fact, until he spoke with his still frightened friend Rodolfo, he couldn't be positive that any of this had actually happened at all. Maybe it had been nothing more than a strange dream, he thought. But soon enough, Cornelio would realize that what had transpired was all too real, affecting him and everyone around him. And what's more, that the enigmatic entity who had taken him under his wing was a force to be reckoned with. But before this reality would come crashing down around him, Cornelio's reckless relationship, like all youthful passions, would first escalate him to rapturous heights. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
The glory of young love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It starts with the
man.
little thing, then it ramps up.
Mm-hmm.
And then your world's over.
That's the way.
That's just,
I mean, that's
you're
actually,
like, I'll never love again.
that's
I'm
the roller
14.
coaster of love, but it never goes higher or deeper than when you're that young and innocent. The first time you feel it, the good, the first time you feel the bad, it is never higher or lower.
Oh, God.
And then it just, it still is enough to like cut deep and elevate high, but it's never quite the same.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
After his first fling with this phantasmal female, Cornelio quickly found himself at her beck and call. Surprising anybody? No. Not following any established courtship protocols, this extraordinary entity would appear in his bedroom at all hours of the night, where it took little to convince the teen that nocturnal adventures were more tempting than mere sleep. And that's the other thing. You don't have to call and talk to parents, as we've discussed before.
No, she's
you don't
just
have to do
showing up,
bullshit.
dude.
She can just pop in anytime, any place,
this
and
is
it's
like
on.
Ideal.
In some ways.
Yeah, you're like, we're just going to hang out.
At the time, it's somewhat optimal.
Yeah.
Less so eventually, but I'm with you, Mark and Chris. Yeah, it starts off prime time.
Yeah, well, when you're 13
what
and you're like,
want.
I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend and go do some shit
Whenever
at night.
she wants.
Yeah.
Float around.
It gets better. Oh, you're not wrong about that, Chris.
Okay.
So let's fucking nail this down because I'm about to get into this here. She'd arrive in school or at home when he was supposed to be doing chores. Anytime, anywhere, this angelic apparition, who only Cornelio could see, would suddenly appear and whisk him away on the kinds of wild adventures that most only dream about. The more she stole him away, the more the boy began to remember about their near daily diversions. Out of the blue, this beautiful being would suddenly appear and wrap him in her arms. Cornelio would literally feel the weight of the world vanish as he became lighter than air, and the pair would fly, wind in their faces, like Peter Pan and Wendy, over the bustling cityscape. Being invisible when they touched, the pair would sneak into the cinema to see all of the latest movies, or slip into the boisterous international fair that was being held in Manila at the time. Even though he never felt tired or hungry while in her presence, Cornelio and his enigmatic escort would often order extravagantly at restaurants, eat their fill, then conveniently vanish just before the bill arrived.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
All right. Fucking doing it right.
I mean, it's actually really shitty to do.
It is shitty to do.
You really shouldn't do
There's
that.
a wait staff, these people.
Yeah, you got to
own the
pay
restaurant.
your people, leave a tip.
No, I mean, we're adults and we understand that's garbage.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid
And you're in love and you're flying with some chick.
Yeah,
and
just
you're
dine and
eating for
dish.
free,
Yeah.
and seeing all the hot new flicks,
Going to the
cinema,
World's Fair, Manila, whatever the fuck that is.
whatever the fuck. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
even know.
cool,
I didn't even
man.
confirm if it was really happening because I don't want to know. I just want this to be real.
Was there a World's Fair in Manila?
I mean, it was an international fair, in all fairness.
Oh, sorry, international.
That's a whole different breed of cat.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Nobody could see the duo as they soared above the fray or frolicked among the crowds on their daylight jaunts and nocturnal sojourns, making it feel to him as if the city belonged to them and them alone. The world was quite literally their oyster, laid bare for the plucking. The more time they spent together, surreal those experiences may have been, the more that Cornelio began to feel as if that were reality and the rest of his waking life, home and school, were just a dream. For the teenager, like many in the throes of their first crush, when he was with his barefoot muse, existence was pure bliss. His energies were unbounded and life's potential untethered to any of reality's harshness. But the few hours they were forced to be apart was another matter altogether. His family noticed that Cornelio, already small and frail, was wasting away. He seemed listless and sickly. But almost as disturbing to the boy's parents as his sudden turn of health was the fact that almost overnight, their shy, well-mannered son was now sullen, antagonistic, and angry.
Ah, them damn hormones, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a 13-year-old kid, though, so, you know, them hormones hit hard, dude.
That's true.
It sucks. Sometimes I got to remind my son, I'm like, buddy, it's okay, I'm your friend.
Settle down.
Yeah, I'm your friend. Don't worry. I'm your father, but I'm also your friend.
We're gonna get through this.
We're gonna make this. We're gonna get through this together, little guy.
The things you hate,
Big guy.
not gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, don't worry. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
Though his father, Cornelio Sr., claimed that he'd never been a particularly affectionate child, his son had always been amiable and obedient. But this was no longer the case. He fought with his parents and siblings and refused to eat with them. As Summerall wrote in 1979's Demons, the Answer Book, Something we all
The
need.
answer
The answer
book.
book, dude.
It's just essential for every library. Quote, Cornelio was pushing away food and snarling, said his father, like an animal. His mother added, with each passing day, young Cornelio became less manageable. I was losing control. He sat in the corner of the room, brooding and staring into space. He refused to study. Unlike any 13-year-old I know.
Yeah, no, this is not.
Who
Paranatural.
wanted to study.
Yeah, seriously. No, this is.
Yeah.
No, this all sounds like normal shit.
In Summerall's Alien Entities, the aforementioned book, Cornelio himself elaborated on his condition, quote, whenever anyone, and that included my parents, spoke to me, I would answer rudely or shout. I did not want to snarl, but I could not help myself. If my father punished me, I would fight back. I knew I was displeasing him, but I did not seem to care. When no one was bothered with me in the house, I would just sit and wait. I did not know why, but I was just waiting for the girl, end quote.
Okay.
And again, this is new to him. That is not new to anyone who's been in puberty.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yep.
Man.
Like, I'm being a dick to my parents. I don't particularly care for my siblings, but I'm waiting every fucking minute for this girl that I'm smitten with
Of course.
to contact me.
Yep.
Yeah, he's yelling at your parents to get off the phone. Like, she could be calling right now.
I know what I know. Pre-caller ID.
Yeah,
People didn't
seriously.
know.
Yeah.
Having your own
Right.
phone
Did you
that
get a
was at your
beep?
beck
Did
and
you get a
call.
beep?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Answer the beeps. Answer the beeps, Ma. Answer the beeps.
You and your old friends are going to die soon. I need love. It's for the future of humanity.
Even though you're in your 30s, you're going to die soon. It doesn't matter.
I know
Your friends are
it's like a
worthless.
Bowling night. We're just gonna go to bowling.
I know. Can't you bowl?
Bowling night. Oh, it's funny. And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. How's your social battery right now? Are you feeling drained? Maybe you're bursting with energy. Personally, I think I'm at the halfway point. I'm over winter. Fireworks season is just around the corner. And quite frankly, I sure could use a parade or two. I need that sun. I need to be out there mingling amongst the people. Now, it can be easy to ignore our social battery and spread ourselves too thin, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. But what's the right amount of socializing for you? And how do you recharge? Maybe you thrive around people like myself, or maybe you just need some more alone time. Now, therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. Now, therapy can also be helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Now, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/hellerspace today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hellerspace. And now, back to the show.
His obsession with his personal angel growing all-consuming, Cornelio found himself filling all other hours of the day with inexplicably delinquent behaviors.
Yes, dude.
Quote, when I was sure no one could see me, I would hide my father's glasses.
Oh, what a rebel.
Without his glasses, my father could not see his hand in front of his eyes. When my parents looked hard enough, they would find their things in the oddest places. When my father found his glasses in the transom, where I often hide things. I'm not even sure what a transom is.
Yeah, it's like a transformer.
He also found his slippers, which I had hidden more than a week before.
Oh,
Fuck you, old man.
Man.
Fuck
You
you.
only wear your slippers once a week? Then?
Yes.
In the
You're just
transom.
yeah.
In the transom, yeah. All right, yeah. This kid's wow, he's wild and crazy.
Though his family was well off by Filipino standards of the day, that was pointed out by Summerall, not me being judgy, Cornelio was consuming more than his fair share of the family's allotted food portion and craving other material goods. Quote, with all the traveling that I was doing, I suppose we became hungry. In the morning, the family would find the refrigerator absolutely empty. This was not helping my father's blood pressure. They were sure that their invisible boy had been there because the table had been set for two. So he's feeding his phantom girl too.
Wow.
Once my parents forgave me, but then I began stealing money from them.
Oh no.
I began taking money from neighbors, even strangers. If I was caught, I fought back.
He went from stealing, just being like, I got your glasses, you old blind bastard, to
mugging
to
people,
mugging people.
stealing He-Man guys.
Yeah. Oh, no.
At FaZe. Oh, wait, no, that was me.
Oh, yeah. No, totally.
But it wasn't just at home that his conduct took a sudden turn. As his 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Agaspi, I think I'm saying that right, Agaspi, yep,
Okay.
noticed a change at school as well, which Summerall noted, quote, "He had been a quiet boy," said his teacher. "Now he was such a nuisance that we wished he didn't attend class at all. He battled with others at the slightest provocation. The strangest thing about these fights was that Cornelio, as smart as he was, would take on 3 or 4 boys larger than him, and together the larger boys could not hold him down."
Yeah, man. Don't fuck with little dudes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The teacher told a film crew he had superhuman strength.
Yes.
On top of his newly manifested aggressive demeanor, the teacher informed Cornelio's beleaguered parents that he was also missing an inordinate amount of school days. Enraged, his father marched him to class every morning, but without fail, the boy would vanish before the end of the day. In fact, despite being repeatedly grounded, Cornelio inexplicably escaped from his parents' home so often that his father, in a fit of desperation, nailed all of the windows shut from the inside, all to no avail. So it's getting out of hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
this kid's getting wild, man. All right.
So far, this may well sound like the acutely rebellious behavior of a typically hormonal and perhaps atypically creative teenager. But before long, his family, teachers, and schoolmates became convinced something much more nefarious was afoot. The reason for this was simple. Now it was not just Rudolfo who'd seen Cornelio vanish before one of his dates with the ghostly girl. For reasons unknown, she was no longer content to merely slip away with Cornelio when no one was looking, and now actively flaunted her ability to steal away with her mortal bow any time of the day or night, regardless of who was watching. In fact, almost everyone, even peripherally associated with the Closa clan, started to bear witness to this preternatural disappearing act. According to Summerall's Demons, the Answer Book, again, arguably the greatest title of a book ever,
Seriously.
quote, "I was getting used to this kind of behavior," said Cornelio's mother, "until one evening when he looked particularly flushed and sick, and with the doors and windows in the house locked, he vanished into thin air in front of my eyes. I was horrified," end quote. And his miracles don't just happen, Summerall continued, quote, "He would vanish from his home, sometimes in the evenings when the whole family was sitting together behind locked doors. On one occasion, he was playing with the other children in the living room. It was in the evening and the doors and the windows of the house were already locked. The gate in the front yard was locked too. The children suddenly cried out, "Clyde out! Clyde out! Cornelio's gone." Everyone looked around the room and in the rest of the house. They unlocked the doors and looked into the yard and down the street, but they could not find him. This went on for an entire year, and the situation became worse and worse. The parents told me that the whole family would be in the front room of their home and their children would be down on the floor playing. Suddenly, with everybody looking, Cornelio would just disappear. The other children would start coughing and vomiting because of the stench that he would leave behind.
What? Did he fart propelled or something?
I mean, or sulfur antics.
Okay. Oh.
The demonic.
The little bit of the old sulfur.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now everyone's seeing him disappear. This takes a turn.
Okay. Yeah.
Because now you've got everyone like, what the fuck is going on with
Well, yeah,
Cornelio?
no, because at first it's like he's just being a teenage dick.
Right.
He's being a 13-year-old dick. He found his first girlfriend. Rudolfo, his best friend, who is not the first to find a girlfriend, is becoming jealous and is like, "I'm going to run away and your girlfriend's evil." But it turns out that maybe
he might not be wrong.
and so then Rudolfo sort of just drops off the scene, and now it's just like he's disappearing and hanging out with this girl and doesn't give a fuck. But then he starts disappearing fucking full force in front of teachers,
physically
schoolmates,
disappearing,
parents,
man. Okay.
siblings. And it's like, oh,
that is brazen.
It is brazen.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
All
yeah.
right.
But it's not over. He goes away, He leaves with the preternatural fart of the undead. Everyone pukes.
Wow.
Fucking deals with it. Quote, 2 nights later, while the family was sitting in the living room, at about the same hour he had disappeared, he reappeared upstairs. When the parents heard someone upstairs, they asked, "Who's that?" Cornelio answered, "It is I. I am now going to bed."
Come on.
Such a dry quote. It is I, Cornelio. I shall be forthwith returning to slumber.
He didn't even give his name. He just said, "It is I," and just let them figure out.
So wait, he disappeared for two
full fucking days.
Okay,
and then he was just upstairs. He's like, "I'm going to bed."
It is I, Cornelio.
Yeah. Now,
tired am I?
Yeah, feed me, you will.
Yes.
He turns into Yoda.
The entire family became frantic. Not only were they afraid of what had happened to their little son, but they were afraid to tell the police. They did not want their names in the newspapers, nor did they want multitudes of curiosity seekers crowding around their house to see the strange thing that was happening, end quote. So that's a big leap. I can understand being afraid for the welfare of your kid, and then maybe being afraid like what the implications are, but then to be doubly afraid of, I don't know, like the police and curiosity seekers. But then again, they're a semi-wealthy family in this era, 1950s, where everyone was super concerned about what the Johnsons think or fill in the blank name.
Yeah, and you would be bringing quite a lot on yourself with this. I mean, you're
and like, what's wrong with your family that your son is having a fling with a fucking weirdo?
Yeah. It's like a lot of like a media attention, and it would just turn into a whole fucking thing for sure. And it's not like you're like, yeah, we're in the money. Like, it's just going to be a bunch of shit. You're going to catch.
Yeah, you certainly can't lord your wealth over your neighbors when this shit's going on.
When you're like, look at Cornelio, he dates an invisible demon and disappears and comes back a real asshole.
A real asshole.
A real asshole.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to,
Yeah, suddenly you're not the envy of the block.
No, the devil's not giving you gold. You're just like, yeah, here you go.
Continuing, his school chums weren't immune from these physics-defying antics either. As his teacher, Mrs. Agassipi, as I'm trying to say her name right and probably am not, added, quote, "A few days later, I called him to the front of the class to give the lesson. He went to the blackboard, stood there for a few moments, and then simply evaporated."
Oh, don't we all wish we could have done that?
I was terribly affected by these happenings in my class. I decided before I lost my mind completely, I should resign.
Wow. Early retirement. Okay.
Yeah, just fucking, I'm out.
I mean, the kids are there. It's not her. Everyone saw it.
Other sources, not my quote, some other quotes, I wish I could cite them directly, but they're in the research, said she had a nervous breakdown at this point. Which is, I mean, a kid disappears right in front of you. I mean...
Yeah, but it's not only you seeing it. Everybody in the class sees it as well.
Sure, but I mean, I don't know how precarious her relationship with reality was to begin with.
No, I get it.
Or her mental health in general. So,
yeah, I get it.
So she was just like, fuck this. I retired.
Okay.
But she didn't retire immediately. And that was not the last time Cornelio was in class, because this unfolds. I remember how the chain of events made Cornelio laugh and laugh. It was a hideous kind of laugh. It didn't belong to a boy. In fact, it didn't belong to a human being.
Oh,
end quote.
No.
Dude, this is like fucking Laser Blast, but instead of a fucking
instead
of a gun, it's a ghost.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've got the alien.
Every time he touches
the shellless turtle gun. Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
That's
oh my God, that's amazing.
That's fucking hilarious.
It was at this point that the until now idyllic student was kicked out of fucking school. That's over. Once you make one teacher retire, over and done.
When you're disappearing and you're laughing like a maniacal fucking, madman, yeah, they're going to be like, all right, dude, your time's done.
Your time's done.
Yeah.
Though he delighted in every moment spent traveling with his pretty paranormal paramour, enjoy that alliteration, haters.
We're going to get comments about that.
Cornelio found his physical state worsening by the day. This was only exacerbated by the fact that he could not confide in his loved ones. In Alien Entities, he detailed on his condition, quote, "Sleep for me was almost impossible. I was never left to myself. I would perspire profusely. It seemed as if my clothes were burning. Then I would open my eyes, and there would be the face of my friend, looking at me, beckoning me to follow her. Every time her hands touched me, I would feel as if I were floating on air. Then I would be gone from home for days. I could not explain to my family just what was wrong. The girl made me promise I would not tell. I just felt tremendous heat in my body." Didn't we all?
I was going to say.
Digression aside.
Again, hormones, 13-year-old.
Continuing quote, I was becoming sickly and pale. I was hungry and I could no longer eat. I would put food in my mouth and I would spit it out. I began breaking dishes and glasses. I wanted to break and smash anything I touched. End quote. Welcome to the land of punk rock, kid.
Yeah, dude. Welcome. Yeah, that first shot, that first real like testosterone hits you, and you're like, I want to fucking destroy everything ever.
It's amazing the human race survives, but guess what? Every boy goes through puberty, and we all end up. Most of us end up relatively normal.
Yeah, you know.
But you're right. It is apocalyptic when it first hits.
That testosterone.
Like I will burn and fucking kill and die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I'm gonna kill myself. Come back. Fuck again. Kill myself again.
Yeah.
Keep dying.
Doesn't happen that way.
I'll fuck again too.
Thank
at some
God.
point. Yeah.
I know. No boner control.
No. Oh my God. Jesus. I mean, we're fucking dowsing for everything at that point. She's finding water everywhere. It's tragic.
Oh shit! I'm gonna bring that up to my buddy in the sewer department. Be like, "Want me to do some dowsing for you?"
Yeah.
Wow. In a final desperate bid to end this months-long nightmare, Cornelio Sr. tried to reason with his son, which compelled Cornelio Jr. to write, quote, I knew my father was at his wit's end. Was this fucking Edgar Allan Poe? Is this a letter from the front in the fucking
Well, he's already
Confederate
looked at
War?
his eye. So he's already, he's halfway there.
He's doing it.
He tried talking to me once more, but I refused to answer. Pretending to feel ill, then I leapt suddenly in a wild, uncontrolled manner. Father thought I was insane, so he took me to a mental hospital for a checkup.
All right, well, you know, for a 50s dad, good on you. He didn't just beat the shit out of him and leave him in a corner. He was like, you good sir, we're going to go to a hospital.
Oh, I'm pretty fucking sure that there was a lot of beatings going on.
Oh, okay.
Like,
All right.
I don't think he spared the rod.
Okay.
We,
All right,
we
well.
might broach that a little bit.
I was thinking maybe he was
I don't-
progressive.
No.
Okay.
No, let me take you, good sir, to a mental hospital where I'll incarcerate you, and I've never once raised a hand. And I at one point, his mom basically admits to beating the shit out of him. She's like, I tried to be nice, then I tried to be harsh. And then in the fucking, like, the 16 millimeter movie, she's like, at him with a spoon or something real quick.
Oh, did you,
Just like my mom, though.
did you take her shoe off and throw it?
I'm just saying, I don't think
You ever
he
get
was,
that?
he
The
was
fucking
unbeaten.
shoe thrown at you?
No, but I got spoons, ladles,
Spoon, yeah.
I got
I never got that.
bread, cups,
Yeah.
whatever she grabbed.
Yeah.
I remember I got-
culinary punitive justice.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
no stranger to that.
Anything just flew out of the kitchen, whatever she can get her fucking hands on. Pans, pots, fucking.
Oh, it's great.
You got shoe beaten though?
I didn't get beat. I just got thrown at me. But I think it's because I was making fun of her shoes because I was like, you got old woman orthopedic shoes. And she threw it at me.
Oh my
She
God.
would do that to me today if I did that to
That's
her,
the
so.
generational break between being born in the early 80s and the
yeah.
early 70s.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Jesus.
yeah. Dad's at wit's end. He's bringing him to the hospital for a checkup.
Okay. All right.
And we all know what that means.
Yeah.
Being involuntarily institutionalized had little effect on the teen. He knew that no bars or locks could prevent his etheric heartthrob from freeing him. Somewhere deep down, he knew that his body was dying.
Oh, God.
He may have even sensed that an even more fundamental part of his being was being corrupted by his relationship with this unknown entity. But young love knows no logic. Cornelio thrived on those blissful adventures, even if they were slowly killing him. And he knew that padded walls would prove no obstacle to true love. Little could Cornelio have imagined that, even when trapped behind the well-nigh impossible-to-scale walls of a mental institution, that powerful forces were arraying on opposite ends of the world, vying to steal him away from his pretty partner and, just perhaps, save his soul in the process. But, my friends, that is a story we'll be picking up next week.
Oh, the Invisible
Wait
Boy,
a
the Peter Pan
minute.
Possession Part 1.
Young love!
Young love and hormones and love and hatred and dying on the inside slowly because you're ethereal. Did I say that word? Ethereal?
Yeah, ethereal.
You're ethereal.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it in the intro. Your ethereal girlfriend is just sucking your very life essence out
I mean,
of
it's
you.
sort of like
Yeah,
junior
just-
succubus. You know,
that happens?
not fucking
Yeah.
you dry,
You're
but
getting
like
soul vamped.
yes,
Yeah,
Not blood
that's what,
vamped.
that's what it sounds like. Yeah, the whole disappearing in front of people is really fucking.
that's an extreme
that's
leap.
crazy. Yeah,
Like at first, because it's like she's gaslighting the world at first. Like
Right.
Rudolfo saw it in the very beginning on the field.
yeah,
But you don't, I mean, at first it's like, and I don't think I necessarily wrote it in a way that conveyed it really well. Like he's at school and everyone's doing a lesson, and then suddenly Cornelio's not in class, and it's like, did he saunter out? Is he Mr. Cool Guy?
Yeah.
Is he walking the halls, smoking in the bathroom, and like nobody knew where he was? Or like he's at home and it's it's before Dad is nailing the window shut and like fucking deadbolting the doors, and he's just slipping out because at that point you're not expecting your 13-year-old to be a full on dick.
right.
So at first, I think a lot of the times he was there and then he just wasn't there. And he was saying that I was touching, my strange, preternatural girlfriend and disappearing.
Yeah.
But everyone around him is just like, what the fuck? What happened to Cornelio?
Well, they
But then
see him-
eventually it becomes more brazen.
well, when he's playing with his brothers and sisters and he just disappears
Yeah.
in front of everybody. Like,
That's just like saying, fuck all y'all.
yeah, that's a huge leap.
It absolutely is.
Okay. Well,
But the thing is about this, and we're going to discuss this more next week, what I hinted at a little bit, the difference between the Steger and I guess more, mainstream paranormal, parapsychological view of having an interdimensional consort
okay.
versus you're fucking around with a demon and you need to be your soul needs to be salvationed.
Right.
If that's a verb,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Save. Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for helping me with simple English.
No, I'm in.
So that's going to be the context next week a little bit more. And and that's really what it's coming down to. Like, I mean, is he just playing with force? Is it sort of like you're having a really good time, but you're a little too close to the fire? Is it
Right.
the Pixar movie Elementals where fire and water really shouldn't be together because it can get pretty dangerous, but oh wait, in that movie, everything works out because it's still a Disney movie. But like sometimes real love won't allow for physical and metaphysical differences? Or is it truly the simplicity of what some are all saying where, oh, it's a demon and you have an immortal soul and we got to find a way to fucking rip you asunder.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is never really broached in this, and that, I'd like to think we're doing for one of the first times, is the aspect of young love. This is very reminiscent of just plain old growing up,
Yeah.
of hormones,
Right.
of finding your independence, of getting your wings, of figuring out who you are as opposed to who you are as a member of your family, who you are as an individual, and that sort of liberation that you feel from first love, and the fear that instills in your loved ones, particularly your mother and father, about the idea of losing you. All of those things are there, but there's also a paranatural element, and we'll be dealing with that, I guess, more acutely next week when we wrap it all up.
Yeah, no, that definitely, that's a weird road to walk down.
It's I mean, growing up is a weird road.
Yeah, but
falling
when
in
you
love
throw
for the
this-
first time
when
is
you
a hard
throw this
road.
in here. when you
Well,
throw
I mean,
this-
it's the disappearing part is the problem.
Oh yeah,
Because other than that, you could just attribute this maybe to some
right.
just hyper creative first love type fucking thing. But the,
Yeah,
the
but when you're
disappearing
just-
and
yeah,
the
when
fact
you're-
that there multiple people saw it, but still no one's
I mean, could any of
seen
you
her yet.
imagine if the first
Like-
girl you fell in love with could fly, could make you fly,
Yeah.
could get you into movies and state fairs and fucking whatever else for free?
I mean, that's a
where
hell of a.
you're going to go and ass out at Lascas and not be paying for shit.
Yeah.
Man, when she
and
leaves you,
nobody can see her except
yeah,
you.
It's like your girlfriend from Canada, but she's real and she can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that would be nuts. And talk about a bad influence. I mean,
Well, yeah.
we'll
Well,
be dealing with this
yeah,
more.
yeah.
I mean, but if your first love, even if
kind
it's
of a
sort of
cool
an innocent
girlfriend,
love,
though,
I mean, you
man.
don't even know if they ever kissed or anything, but just this first being swept off your feet
No,
by
yeah.
someone that, you are attracted to. And it's all tied in with these paranatural
man.
events on top of the fact that you're naturally rebelling against your parents,
Yeah.
parents and
Yeah.
And as
society
you're slowly
itself.
dying because like this interdimensional being is just sucking your essence off of you. Oh man, this sounds like almost like the reptilian agenda.
Maybe, but maybe not though.
I want to go reptilian.
hard to tell,
but-
yeah.
Or do you have to suffer before you blossom? Is it like the wintering of a plant where you just get a little drier and a little beat, but when spring showers and the
I mean,
sunlight of the oncoming summer come,
I don't think
you
that's
you
the thing.
flourish.
I don't think that's ever happened to anybody.
I mean,
Is it?
plants.
Yeah, we're not plants, dog.
Dude.
we're not disappearing.
Chlorophyll.
In front of we're not disappearing in front of
but
our
is
parents.
not love a blossoming flower?
I mean, love, yes, is a blossoming flower
Within
but
us.
in this case, this kid's dying slowly, and he's turning into a fucking maniac in front of
I
everyone
wonder
and
if
disappearing.
I wonder if it might have been worth it.
I don't know, man.
The story's
I don't
not
know.
over.
I mean,
I don't know.
he
It
also
might-
can't remember a whole hell of a lot of shit. So
Well, he remembers more as time goes on.
that's
At
true.
first, it's definitely a full-on
True.
blackout, drunk fucking date.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then he gets there.
Okay. All right, man. Well, there you have it. The Invisible Boy, the Peter Pan Possession, Part 1. Join us next week for Part 2. Robert, let's give some shout out to the folks that support us over there at Patreon. Available at patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it for everyone. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you fucking all.
Yes.
Beginning with Jess.
Thank you, Jess.
Gerard Sullivan.
Hell yeah, Gerard. What up?
One word. Chops Jansen.
Yeah, chops. I love it.
Jason Sangillo.
Hello, Jason.
It might be Sangillo. It depends on the pronunciation. But,
Okay.
if I said it wrong, tell me. I'll say it again.
Let him know.
Jason. Maddie Comics.
Hell yeah, Maddie.
Juan Munoz.
Yes. What's up, Juan?
Munoz?
We spent
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of time
We
on
spent
your
a lot of
last
time
name.
and I think I forgot how to say
There's
it.
like a Y in there, maybe, right? Is it
Yeah.
Munoz?
Munoz.
We
Munoz.
did
It's
the
got
whole
the tilde,
translation.
the tilde.
and we tried to do
I
like
think I
the
said it wrong.
pronunciation.
All right, let me say Juan. I'm going to say there's two ways.
Okay.
There was Munoz, which I did
Yeah.
not feel comfortable with.
I don't think that works. No, there's no th to there.
And then there was Juan Munoz.
I think Munoz is the one to do.
Shit, man. You got to know my tongue is a rebel antic. So, again, you know the deal.
Yeah.
You're slowly dying.
Juan,
tongue.
thank you. Unfurled Dread.
Yeah.
Again, one word.
Nice.
Unfurled Dread. I love it.
James Huddleston.
Hell yeah, James.
2 words.
Thank you.
Rounding it out. Last but certainly not least, Dan Gorley.
Hell yeah, Dan. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your continued monthly support over there on Patreon. Again, that is patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast, the $1 and the $5. And there is a new tier launching. We're not going to give the date just yet. We're going to get a couple of things sort of in the mix here. But if you are on the Patreon, you saw a video. You got to see us do a Patreon video or a Patreon episode on video.
Yes.
Which people were fucking super stoked about and still sort of shocked. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Mark.
Oh, they're that ugly.
That's
Yeah.
Mark.
Oh,
Unsubscribed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh.
taking my $5 back. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be making announcements there. Also, too, we have a bunch of Discord events coming up. So if you are on the Patreon, be sure to join the Discord. That is tied to your Patreon tier. Very simple to do. And yeah, keep your eye out for that. We got a bunch of fun stuff happening there. We got the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks and the socials and the TikTok's still around. It hasn't been banned yet, but it's going to happen. We'll see what happens. We're not on TikTok, so regardless,
Yeah.
but we're on the social. We're on the socials, so hit us up there and do all that, and check our merch out at our TeePublic shop at hellerspace.com. Got some new fun stuff going to be happening over there very soon, and of course, you can go to our CrowdMade shop at cryptonautmerch.com. And check all that out. Thank you for supporting us, whether you're buying the swag or if you're supporting us on the Patreon. We appreciate it. And man, again, episode 333, dude. We're almost there to 666.
Wow, halfway.
Almost
there,
Almost
dude.
literally halfway.
So literally, by the time we get there at this rate, I will be 48.
Oh my.
Yeah, 5 years, right? 48, 43.
Still a baby.
I know. I'm still.
I know.
I'm still a babins.
We're going to be eating at discount at fucking Denny's. me and Rob.
You guys are an AARP age. You're only in your 50s.
I don't know what
Is AARP in
age
your,
is.
I don't think it is. I think it's 60s, isn't it?
Really? I thought it was 50s.
I have no
Is
idea.
it really?
I thought certain things were, yeah.
Dude,
I mean-
check this out. You guys could be getting free meals.
When do we get discount liquor? I mean, that's all I care
Never,
about.
dude.
Unfortunately, I don't think it
What's
ever
the point of
happened.
getting old?
That's gonna happen.
You should be able to make they send you a card and just be like, look,
What do you want?
you get a 15% discount on fucking toast and eggs or fucking bourbon.
Yeah.
Toast and eggs.
I know exactly what I'll be picking.
That's the worst. McDonald's. You should do next time you go to McDonald's. Be like, what's on the AARP menu? See, maybe you get a free. I think you get a free coffee at McDonald's.
I just would never drink
You
that.
guys should go in the morning and get the free shit.
First off,
And
I'm
be the-
never going to get up in the morning.
Yeah,
be
I don't
the-
think it's free.
You don't sleep though, so just pick us up. You guys go to McDonald's. Be the
That's
fucking
true.
cool
For shitty
old punk
coffee?
rock
No,
dudes.
dude, we're
Be the old punk rock dudes in McDonald's.
There's ways to do that.
Just talking with the older people, like, yeah, I know. Back in the 70s.
Yeah, I know. ... Just leave it at that. That's the conversation starter.
No,
I know.
Somewhere else. We'll scout the fast foods and see.
We'll see what's up for us.
Because Burger King has it, we're going to BK.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's different.
Denny's is gone.
I know,
Dad,
unfortunately, it is. Yeah.
All right, shit.
We'd have to go out of town for that.
Yeah, you would have to go out of town for that. That goddamn, they're building a car wash that I swear to God they've been building for 6 years, and they've gotten fucking.
Yeah, no, that's what we
nowhere
needed.
with
Like one of 17.
yeah, what they is
This fucking city is car washes,
pharmacies. Yeah.
The only good thing is that there's a lot of pizza places.
There is a lot of
That's
really, a lot of really.
Hey,
places.
but we also have a ton of Indian food. Oh wait,
no,
not fucking one.
I know.
Yes,
not
one.
fucking
we
one.
do have some really good Mexican places. Though. Mexican
Fair enough.
places I really
and
do.
I delight in that.
I really do want some Indian though, dude.
Just
Indian,
one.
The Indian
Fuck
grill.
yeah, I'll take
over
one.
in Camilla's, dude. I know. Dude, the closest one is the one that's in Camilla's.
And then we'll be using our our discount
Yeah.
all the live long day.
trying to get some fucking mutter paneer with you.
I need some fucking. I need some curry and some old man coffee.
No,
stat.
that can't be on the card though. If I have to choose between bourbon and like curry, I'm like,
Yeah, you guys
no,
want
I
to
know.
do
I'm still
bourbon?
taking bourbon though.
All right.
Still taking bourbon. Yeah, we'll pay for our curry.
Well,
thank you, Patreon.
I have no problem with that.
thank you,
Yeah.
Patreon, and
Help us help you.
Yeah,
Help us.
help Rob buy better whiskey than this proper 12.
Oh, and can I add while we're on this? These pity fuck reviews that I'm getting now.
Oh boy.
All right. First off, Junk Farmer, thank you.
It was actually a very nice
With
review.
the 5-star review that says, "Hang in there, Rob. You're everyone's favorite." All right. Even though your patronization
You asked
was
for it, dude.
dripping. No, you asked for
That's
it.
right, I did.
You
That's
son
right.
of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you.
I appreciate it, and it makes me feel good, but try to be less condescending in the future.
I think that is a very nice review.
It was a
from
very
great
sweet thank you,
listener.
Junk Farmer, again.
He might have completely meant it.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
he
might
may
have
have
meant
meant
it.
it,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to be
You don't
anyone's
gotta jump to
favorite.
the negative.
I'm just saying,
Everybody has a favorite.
you can say nice things without making me feel like a shallow pity fuck.
Oh God!
All right, I still want to
Robert.
feel sexy. I want to feel like you took me to the prom because
God.
my boobs look really nice in that dress.
There's no alliteration in your review.
Wow.
So clearly he hates me.
What was it? Partially pretty phenomenon or whatever you said.
No, what was it?
Poultry.
Pretty paranormal. No, paranormal paramour.
Paramour.
Yeah,
that's what it
pretty
was.
paranormal paramour. There you go. Say that.
Suck on that for
I
a while.
can't wait to read that shitty review on Reddit. Like, this guy and his alliteration.
Oh God, I hate his words.
Hate it.
Who taught him to write? I want to break their hands.
I hate his words.
Hang in there, though.
Oh, there you have it.
Hang in there,
Oh,
fuckface.
hang in there,
But
buddy.
thank you. Yeah,
Oh, I
keep
love
them
it.
coming.
Yeah,
keep the pity train rolling.
keep
I'm just
them-
bent over waiting for
Keep
it.
them reviews coming. Thank you all so very much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Good night, sweet prince.
Oh, dude.
I don't even know.
Peace.
I-